Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Legally Speaking with Buckfire Law Firm. Joining us this morning is attorney Bob Lancey. Thank you so much for calling in today, attorney.
Good morning, Colette. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Okay, so it's been over a month since the Sanford and Edenville dams broke and flooding much of mid-Michigan. They're just a horrible time for us here. So tell us about the two lawsuits that your law firm filed on behalf of those victims, Attorney Lancey.
So the first lawsuit was a lawsuit that was filed in the federal district court. That was filed against Boyce, that was filed against a bunch of trusts that may be implicated in, being responsible for the dams, and of course Lee Muller and De Avantis, two individuals that may be responsible. And then there was a lawsuit filed in the Court of Claims against the Michigan DNR and then the state agency known as EGLE. And at this point, the courts have not issued a scheduling order, and they haven't had us in for a scheduling conference. And those are the events that really kick off litigation. They give us the ability to start taking depositions. Those will be the events that give us the opportunity to actually inspect and investigate on our own at the property the reasons for the dam failure.
Yeah, Attorney Lancey, we've been hearing a lot about Boyce Hydro. Tell us who they are and why they're at fault.
And so Boyce Hydro, that was a limited liability company established by Lee Muller and De Avantis. And the company was established for the specific purpose of operating and maintaining the four dams at the lakes. And it's like any other company that comes in to do business in the state of Michigan. These two individuals, they're not from Michigan, but they're allowed to start these companies, and that's what they did. And their specific purpose was for the management and operation of the dam system. And whether or not they had any experience, I think that our investigation tells us no. But ultimately, they're responsible, and the company's responsible for making sure that they do it properly.
Yeah, will you tell us a little bit about the state agencies involved and why they are at fault?
Absolutely. And so one of the things that everyone's heard probably by this time is that the federal government was really involved in of the dam system, and that's FERC, FERC. They really had the oversight because the dam was producing hydroelectricity. Once that license to produce hydroelectricity was revoked in 1998 because of the federal government's concerns over Boyce's operation and maintenance of the dam system, the management really was turned over to EGLE and the Michigan DNR, who would be responsible for companies like this, and so that's why EGLE and the Michigan DNR are our primary targets in this litigation. Now, at some point, there may be other governmental entities brought into the case, including local governments, counties, cities, townships, and but that remains to be seen. Although that brings us to in my opinion, for today's purpose, the most important part of why I'm here today, and that is to make sure that all of your affected that there is a 45-day window under a statute in the state of Michigan for putting the local, and then we're going to put state entities on notice too, but the purpose of the statute is to put the local governments, townships, cities, counties, all of those people that are responsible for the sewage water system and storm drainage systems. And so there's a statute that provides a lot of protection for these governmental agencies. And what the statute says is that within 45 days of the event or your notice that you've been damaged, you have to put those agencies on notice. Failure to put them on notice may result in those individuals, those families, inability to ever make a claim or file a civil lawsuit in this case. And so I'm encouraging everyone today, if you have families, if you have friends who are affected, and if you're directly affected, you have to put these organizations on notice, and that's what we're doing on behalf of our clients. And so I think that you'll provide, but I'll give you our local phone number now. It's 989-282-2800. And, as the timing goes, July 3rd would be that cutoff date. So really important that your viewers understand that. That
is critical. So how do people know if they are entitled to compensation, and what can they claim in a lawsuit?
Absolutely. The main components of damage in this case are the personal property damages. Your home, your cars, your boat. A lot of people have issues with break walls, but also real property damage. So part of our claims in this case involve the diminution in property value. Properties that were worth X before the flood are now worth Y after the flood, and right now I have several clients that are requesting that their properties be evaluated for value, both before and after. And so that is another part of the damages that would be available. The state law provides for some damages related to non-economic things such as pain and suffering, but in this case, at least to my knowledge, thankfully, there was no loss of life and or other serious injuries that have been brought to my attention.
And Attorney Lancey, tell us about the cutoff time to qualify for compensation.
Absolutely. So right now we're encouraging everyone in your viewing audience to put the local, your cities, townships, counties on notice. The cutoff is 45 days, and I'll give them the statute. It's found at MCL 691.1419, and that goes through the requirements of the notice. It's a written notice requirement, so you have to provide this in writing, provide your name, address, telephone number, address of the affected property, date of discovery of the damages, and then a brief description of the claim. I mean, that sounds very basic, but then you have to get that to the right organizations, or the statute provides for protections for them to avoid liability.
And Attorney Lancey, people are already facing such devastating losses. What are their upfront costs to Buckfire Law Firm right now?
Yeah, so we're handling all of these claims on a contingent basis. So that means that none of the families are paying us any money up front. We only get compensated for our ultimate recovery for these clients.
Oh, that's great news. Anything else that you'd want viewers to know, since you are here today, that's very important?
So I think that right now, I know that the governor has requested that Eagle do an investigation for cause of the dam failure. That report is due on or before August 31st, and so we're interested to see what Eagle comes up with. Ultimately, though, through the discovery process and the civil litigation, we have the ability to hire our own experts to go out, gain access to the property, and come up with our own reports on cause and origin of this failure.
Great. Well, thank you for calling in and for the valuable information, Attorney Lancey. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Colette. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. If you'd like any more additional information, just head on over to the hot links section at WNEM.com.